Welcome to the Meat and Potatoes podcast. Today we're here with Carson Poppenger, who is the founder and president of Squeeze. How are you, Carson?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me here. It's great to be here with you guys.
You bet. And so it's gosqueeze.com, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Very cool. And really cool story to tell. Let's start off with where did the idea come from? How did you found the company?
Yeah, so, I worked in a company where we were spending, millions of dollars a month in lead generation. We had a sales team of over 500 people, and we just recognized gaps in the contact rate and the sales conversion from those leads that we were buying. And so built a process to follow up, contact, convert those, demand generation program basically for the company. And, we grew that into a really sizable amount. It ended up being 20% of the company revenue. And I said, I really like what we're doing here, but I think this will apply with many other companies as well. And so this was way back in 2009, and that's when we started Squeeze. And so kind of branched out on our own. And the idea for Squeeze was basically we help companies squeeze more from their marketing spend and their marketing budgets, help them convert more sales opportunities. And so, it's been 13 years. We had it was a bootstrapped operation. We didn't go out and seek funding or anything like that. We just worked with clients and helped grow our client base, bringing on more companies and things like that. And the very first beginning, it was 9 months it took us to get our first account. We just were working LinkedIn. We worked LinkedIn back in the 2009, and just it took a lot of outreach and things like that. We got the attention of a company in Jacksonville, and we started working with them. Worked with them for quite a while. And it kind of took off from there, just continued to grow brick by brick. And then, in 2018, I was kind of like, I could see where we were going. I could see the opportunity and what we could be, but I didn't have any experience scaling a company in a big way. I was a mid-level manager in that previous company, basically in marketing. And I was like a marketing director, and I didn't have any C-level experience or anything like that. And opportunity came up with a good friend of mine, Hondo Vargas. He had 20 years experience in this space, working with client business, B2B, B2C, and he had he had a tremendous amount of experience. They had 2,700 agents at one of his operations. In his previous operation, he had sold to United Healthcare, and so they acquired his company. And so he's like, I'm not done. I want to continue. I've got a lot to offer and helping scale this business. And that's when we partner together. And so he's my partner, and he's our CEO. And we've grown 800% in the last 3 years.
800%.
So, yeah.
Wow. Very enviable number there. Let's touch on that right now. So that might have something to do with the pandemic?
Well, I think it kind of coincided perfectly. We were already on a large growth in 2019. We added a lot of clients and continued to, do a lot of hiring and things. The pandemic kind of was a big change for us. We were all of our agents, we have 400 agents today. At that time, we were like 100, 150. And they were all in office. And we'd even tried to have people working from home, top performers. So like, hey, I want to work from home. Go for it. They wouldn't clock in, wouldn't work. They'd just find other stuff to do.
Yeah.
And just never seemed to work. And then it was, I distinctly remember, it was March 13th, Rudy Gobert came down with COVID. Everyone in Utah kind of freaked out, right? We freaked out. We're like, what are we going to do? I'm like, we need a plan in place immediately to do some work from home. And by Monday, we had all 150 people working from home, and we had a record sales day that day.
Wow.
It was like our largest sales day from that point. Everybody was working from home. And I remember walking around the office with my camera. I have a video of it. Just office is completely empty. Look at the leaderboard. The leaderboard's just blowing up. So, we executed that very well.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of our success as our team and our ability to come together when there's a problem, we solve it. We're very nimble, agile that way. And that's why our clients love working with us, because typically the larger organizations that we work with, they're not nimble. they've got a problem. The VP of marketing, the executive, they understand it takes me months, years to get things done here, and we step in, we can make things happen very quickly. And that's what we do. Now we work with all the largest mortgage companies in the country. I'm talking about mortgage companies that have, internal sales operations where they have inbound centers with thousands of loan officers, financial services companies with 500 salespeople, healthcare, technology companies, and things like that. And we're just stacking up brands right now and logos that we work with, which is really cool. It's a great time with what we're doing. So
That's awesome. So there's billions of people on planet Earth, and several million are trying to sell stuff, right? And it's billboards and digital ads and email follow up, but at the end of the day, somebody wants a mortgage or they want more information, and if that sits on the bookshelf for 3 months, somebody finally calls them back like, well, I already have a house, and
yeah,
that's the problem you're solving, right? Is
yep, absolutely.
putting all that time and effort into getting the leads and then letting them squander is not good.
Yeah. And this is just something that I know from the business that we're in, is that, and I think most people understand, that you have a large percentage of your sales team, you have a small percentage of your sales team that carries a lot of weight, and you have a large percentage that's trying to become that, right? And so, and it's all skill set, maybe a little will with some people, but there's a skill gap, and they're talking to prospects and they're not converting them, right? And so those prospects will stay in your database, and it's not that, they weren't ready to buy or weren't prepared. Maybe it just the ball got fumbled, right? Yeah. And so that's where we help out in contacting. We've mastered speed to lead with new lead generation. A lead comes in, we can call 95% of new leads within 3 seconds.
Wow.
So, during business hours, with staffing and everything like that optimized, that's what we do, is we optimize the staffing, we optimize the sales presentation. We're very good at streamlining the conversation, making sure that we don't complicate it or, put things that's trip on your feet or whatever in the conversation. We want to be able to get them over to the sales executive so that they can have the best shot at closing it, And so that's a little bit about what we do there.
Very cool. So maybe in my verbiage would be kind of a hired gun that's really good at what you guys are good at, and then you package it and give it to somebody who's good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to worry about everything that you did.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a consistent delivery, right? That's our goal in every call. One of our philosophies is, and I tell this to our clients, is that, your sales executive is our customer first. If they're happy, you're happy. They're going to be receiving our opportunities. They're going to be closing deals, and they're going to be wanting that next call that we send them, that next appointment. And, that's proved to be really good, effective for us. And they love to hear that. They love to see it, and they experience it. So, we've sort of rebranded our process this year. We're definitely not a BPO in the sense of, outsourced work, right? Like, hey, do this work hourly. We're going to pay you an hourly rate to do this. We're more, like you said, hired guns. We come in, and our skill set and our expertise is in contacting and converting those prospects. And, that's where we do what we do. So,
yeah. All right. Interesting. So you've got a company that sells a couple of products. Let's just say they're SaaS
mm-hmm.
products. And they know that there's a problem. They reach out to you, start the dance, figure out it's a good fit. What's the onboarding for you guys into the company look like, right? Like, this product usually takes 3 months. This one takes 3 weeks. This one takes 3 days. How do you guys ingrain yourselves to where you're that hired
Sure.
gun?
Yeah. So onboarding looks different depending on the client. We just went through a 6-month, a due diligence process with one of the largest mortgage lenders in the country. They had some concerns and some past experiences that they had that were negative. And so we had to go through the gauntlet, passing every security check, InfoSec, all the data integration processes. And, we've been able to meet those high standards and those high requirements, but, it's different for every client. it depends on the integration that they want, what kind of data and feedback loop that we have to build to do that. We've never had a problem integrating with, any CRMs or platforms like Salesforce. We integrate with Salesforce, Zoho, you name it. And we've got a great integration team that can do that. And, make sure that you're getting back the data that you need to help hold your sales team accountable and get the reporting and everything like that you need to see and optimize everything. And so I think that having those feedback loops and the data and reporting for us has been key, because it helps us show our value in what we do. When we can go pick up a new client who's happy in their 7-year relationship with their provider, and I tell them, hey, we're going to double your results. Whatever opportunities you're getting from your data right now, we're going to double it. And then we 8x'd it.
Wow.
So
very cool.
So our team delivers.
Yeah. So if, let's say a sales rep's out on maternity leave for 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and in those 2 months you guys are onboarded and start, theoretically that sales rep's experience when they come back would be dramatically different
Mm-hmm.
for the positive, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. And it probably happens pretty quickly, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're able to, that's part of our agility, our, being nimble, and we we've grown a lot. We have a small management group, and we try to make sure that we take care of our team. We take care of our employees, making sure that they, know that they have opportunities. We're always trying to find ways to move them up through, we hire mostly people without experience, believe it or not. We prefer, to train and develop people into good sales agents, entry-level sales agents, and then create opportunities for them to advance with us.
Yeah.
So it's like we love that feeder program. We have certain programs that require a higher skill set, working with technology brands now like Acronis, Siemens, Sonic Wall. Those are all clients of ours. And, we enjoy working with them, helping them. And, we may need an agent with a higher skill set, and we can cherry pick that best person right for that program. So we have a large feeder team.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
yeah.
There's a lot of upside in having green and new folks that you can teach your way, and there's no bad habits and and I used to do it like this. Well, here's how we do it here.
I think bad habits and expectations just kill productivity and, jumping in and everything like that. When we love to teach, the process, keep it simple. You come out of training, you hit the ground, you're going to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Where things slow down is when you get away from what we've taught you, and then you go back into, well, I tried this on a call and it worked, so I'm going to do that again. And then they do it again and it doesn't work. And, but then maybe they do that 50 more times and it does work that one. We want to give them that process that's just follow this process and you're going to have the most success. And that's where we've really, shine. We've got, it's a delicate balance with sales management where, the carrot and, what they call the stick, right? And we don't use a stick. We have accountability. It's more the carrot and accountability, right? Yeah. And the carrot's always got to be there. We always have to have some kind of incentive, daily, hourly, weekly, quarterly, give them things that they can, targets that they can hit. And, to the victors go the spoils. That's our philosophy. We want the best people to be rewarded for all their hard work. And when they see their paycheck, they're like, wow, this is great. And I know that I'm at the top of the comp here, and because I deserve it, I've earned it.
Yeah.
And so it's a meritocracy. So definitely our philosophy there.
Yeah. Of all the human traits, that one probably never changes want to be rewarded for the effort. And with that, there's a lot more flexibility in life if you're doing well, and probably a lot more happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Very cool. So when you guys are selling your products and services, you're going to have somebody make a decision on the other end as well, right? Typically, does that look something like, I know we're missing out on X amount of revenue because we're not squared away and the leads are too slow, or they get lost. They pencil it out this is what it would cost for squeeze. Oh, it turns out that's a good deal. Is that their rationale, or what is their process like?
Yeah, generally, a lot of our clients are looking for a cost per acquisition. They want to have their marketing cost per acquisition below a certain amount. And, we we've been unique in the way we've approached the market. And when I was small, I knew that we didn't have a big name. We didn't have, a huge team. We didn't have that, the image that we do today. Right. And we're still growing that and building that story. But, back then, I learned long ago from the other guys that I worked with in my previous, my career was, make the barrier to entry low, right? Make it easy to work with you and make it low risk, right? So that's kind of what we did with our business model where, no contract, you can get out. If you're not happy, you can fire us. We want to earn your business every week versus, hey, we're going to tie you into this contract for a year and you got to give us a year runway and, all the reasons that you tell somebody that they need to be in a contract. And, we just didn't do that. So, we have performance-based pricing. We just charge for the opportunities we create and send over. And then they can tie that very closely to, well, you sent me 100 opportunities. I closed X, revenue was this, cost per acquisition was this. And it's very, very simple to see the ROI that we deliver. And I think that's one of the great things about our business. And it's also helped us, we can control our margins that way. The better we do, the better our margins, and that's not a secret. I'll tell clients that, we're going to earn your business. And, that's part of what makes us work really well. So,
yeah, very simple. Yeah. If you need an advanced degree in applied mathematics to figure out the ROI, it's usually not there.
Right. Keep it. Yeah. I don't like, when we have to, here's some math gymnastics to run to do an invoice or something like that. It's like, this line item's this at this rate, boom, there's your price. And, we always, we built the business, when I didn't have any funding or money, my game was bill weekly. We would bill in arrear on everything. I wouldn't bill up front. Someone the other day, I talked to a friend of mine who's been in the mortgage for longer than I've been in this. And he said, you don't bill up front, these mortgage companies? I'm like, no, we bill everything in arrear and I've never not been paid. They always pay. And because we perform the work this week, Monday, I'd invoice, try to collect funds as quickly as possible within a week if we could. Some would take longer. The bigger they got, the longer it would take. But, because payroll's coming and I have to raise money for payroll. And that was my life for a long time. And, just recently I'm like, thankfully we're finally beyond that where, the last couple of years where we've gotten some financial maturity and my partnership with Hondo managing the financial side of the business. We know every day, what we earned and what we're spending and what our margins are on each project and for the whole company. And we review it every morning with our entire team. And
That's
so
great.
we've got transparency there with the financial performance with our management, all down to our operations managers. Operations managers, they're fairly, they only have a couple of years experience, but they're seeing our company financials every morning.
Yeah.
And so it just brings transparency. Everybody knows the metrics that we're driving. And that has been something that I was initially a little apprehensive about because I felt like, depending on people's maturity and things like that, how are they going to view the financial performance of the company? They're going to understand that there's other costs and things like that, and that this isn't all, just benefiting me as an owner, right? And so I had a little apprehension about that, but that's been a huge game changer because we're all pulling the same direction. We all have the same goals, and it's been awesome to see that come together. And Hondo, he's got total credit for that. So,
That's great. I love it. Increased visibility and less guessing. Right?
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I don't feel too bad for founders and CEOs. I've done hundreds of these because it was their decision to found the company. But the one I do feel a little bit bad for is like the payroll, right? Like, oh, that payroll's in 3 days. And that's rough, I would imagine, on the psyche. And it's good to get over that hump where you're not worried about that weekly.
Yeah, it was like this never ending, onslaught. You're in this battle, right? And we never took funding, and we had a couple business credit cards and things like that we would juggle things with, and I would do payroll on checks, we would cut checks because checks take longer to clear,
Yeah.
right? Direct deposit ACH that we all enjoy and everything like that. The on the business side of it, the bad thing is it comes out like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
$200,000, boom, comes out of your account, and then you've got to continue making sure that your balances are up there, right?
Yeah.
But we never bounced a check, we never went negative, and we did, like many companies, I had a lot of advice from friends of mine that were CFOs and things. Are like, float's normal, just use the float, and little tricks that you have to make it work, and we are always able to make it work, and I'm thankful for that. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Very cool. Also, your wife's been a part of the company.
Yeah.
Correct. Critical part, I would assume, and even if not, you're going to say so.
Yeah. No, absolutely. She is. She's as close to a general as you can get, in terms of her leadership and her operational, her eye on details and ability to pick things up. And, she has the respect of our whole team. And, I started in 2009. We had 3 little kids, I was kind of telling you about my girls. I've got 3 girls that are now 20, 17, 15. And, 13 years ago, my youngest, she was 7, and so 7, probably 5 and 3 or 2. And so my youngest, this is all she's known as us trying to make this go. But my wife was a developer with New Skin.
Okay.
And so she worked with New Skin here in Provo for 7 years. She was on their development team, one of only a few women at that time. She got her degree in '99 in computer science, and she just has like this, logical, problem-solving mind. And I'm a little bit more right-brained, and she's the left brain in many ways. And anyway, she kind of, I said, this is what I want to do. I want to start this, and she supported me in that. Financially, we went through many challenges and things like that. In 2015, 16, we had to make some decisions on some staff and people that we had to make some changes. And, we were going to be a little shorthanded. And she's like, I'll come help. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so she jumped in, and she immediately owned like a lot of our technology, our integrations with our clients, managing we use Five9 as our platform for dialing, which many companies that in the tech space and things like that, they're one of the biggest names out there. I mean, in addition to some local companies and things like that, but she's really figured out how to optimize Five9 and do all the integrations with clients in their services like Salesforce and our dashboard reporting, Tableau stuff. And, she's helped kind of lead a lot of that. And, she's been integral in that whole part. So she's my co-founder, she's a co-founder here and getting us to this point. So, yeah.
Very cool. It's great to play off strengths, because everything you just described of what she does and did doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
More of what you described sounds fun. So you got to have both.
As much as she can make fun of me for like trying to solve some, technical code issue or some line in a huge, spreadsheet, she'll ask me for help, like writing a text message or email sometimes, like, hey, what do you think about this? Because that's really more my strength. And she's got all those problem solving strengths, which has been phenomenal. So
yeah, perfect. It's always good when things line up like that. Yeah. All right. So you guys have achieved success and have had really good rapid growth. With that comes more employees, and you've got to start thinking bigger company, right? Mm-hmm. You brought on Hondo, as you've said, to help manage that as a partner. As you guys look forward into the future, are you guys like 6-month type of group? Are you a year? Are you 2 years, 3 years? How do you guys forecast your future, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, we've built a good reputation and a good client list that we work with now, and we're always looking for additional. We're pivoting right now. Changes in the mortgage industry. Mortgage became 50% of our business. And that's obviously changed in the last month or two, right? As rates have started to correct for inflation and things like that. And we know that there's going to be a soft market there for probably 18 months to 2 years. And, thankfully we work with the biggest companies out there. They're not going to be, at the end of that, they're going to be waiting for it to come back. Right. And we're there servicing and supporting them. And we love them. We love that mortgage business that we support. But we're growing in technology. We're growing in healthcare in these areas that, we have a lot of healthcare clients and technology clients and things. And that's really where we're focusing right now on our business development and our business, our solutions that we're out there selling in the market. So, we just brought on Siemens as a client, and they're a 174-year-old, $63 billion, semiconductor and everything, all the stuff that they manufacture. They're up there with like GE, and so that's a really exciting partnership for us to have. And anyway, just that's what we're all about. Is just we're heads down and we're growing. We're still adding, we're hiring. We had 25 people start today.
Oh wow!
So
yeah. So the 25 people starting in the early days, I don't know what the number is. You knew everyone, right? Whether it's 25, 50, 100. What is it like to have a team where you don't know everyone?
It's hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm that guy that just wants to know everybody by name. And when I don't know someone's name, it's very embarrassing and frustrating for me.
Yeah.
And so, but I've learned that I can't try to remember everybody's name and face now, but I just do my best to try to get to know everybody. I'm out every Monday. Today we serve lunch to our whole team. I try to be out there, serving J-Dogs to the team, helping them get a drink and stuff and getting to know them. And that's kind of how we've built what we are, who we are today is we're a people business, and making sure our team's happy and confident in what they're doing. Now, the work that we do, outbound prospecting, is difficult. It's a grind. Yeah. And so we know that, and we don't try to pretend that it's not, right? And we know that, the best people are going to rise to the top, and there's not a spot necessarily for everybody. But we try to make sure that, people know that we want them to succeed and that we're there to help them succeed. And
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love the business because I know what it's like for these entrepreneurs to be doing well and kind of stuck in a certain area. And I love that there's other crafty entrepreneurs that can help fill that gap. And the story is amazing with you understanding like scaling and bringing on a partner and then like building it with your wife. So very cool story, and congrats on the last couple of years and everything.
Hey, thanks so much, Garrett. It's nice to be here with you guys, and we're excited to be sponsoring Silicon Slopes this fall. We're gonna have booth there and get to meet some of the people here locally. We've built the whole company client wise outside of Utah. It's been kind of, our clients are in Florida, Texas, California, all around the country, New York, and we only have had a few clients here in Utah, which is kind of a funny way to build a service business, the way that we have.
Yeah.
And but now we're out there. We've got billboards for GoSqueeze.com, and we're trying to get more of a name recognition here. A lot of people know us because we've employed like over 2,000 people in the last 13 years here in Utah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know us, but a lot of the the VPs of marketing and things like that in the Silicon Slopes aren't familiar with who we are, what we do, because we've been out working with companies in other verticals in other states. So
yeah, well, that's a good feeling to have like a nice little harvest here in Utah. That's inevitable. It sounds like.
Yeah, we'd love to work with more Utah companies for sure. I've not to continue ranting, but I feel like a lot of times there's a big sales skill set here in Utah, right? There's a lot of sales companies, a lot of sales people, sales executives, and they kind of feel like, hey, you know what? I know how to do that, and I'll do it myself, and because I've got that experience or whatever. And that's true. They very well could. But the time and the effort and everything like that, where you can just plug us in, that's where we shine. So, you could build it yourself. I'm sure you have that experience, but it's more complicated than you probably think, and it's going to take you more time, and it's going to, you're going to go through a lot of bodies and people and, time and money and things like that. So,
yeah. Yeah, I could probably figure out how to wire my house and do the plumbing,
Yeah,
but I'd rather just have somebody else do it.
that's
Yeah,
right. That's
very
right.
cool. All right. Thank you, Carson. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Garrett.